With the playtest almost over, Hunger is shaping up to be one of the most exciting releases of 2026-2017, but it's not without its glaring challenges. Oh, this is brutal using this thing.
Yeah, it's so slow. This is way too slow, this blood bag, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, stupid.
I guess it's supposed to be like a regen shot in Hunt, but it's just like
way worse.
Might as well queue into another game.
Yeah, my number one thing they need to change immediately is player sounds, and then number two is pulling shit out of your stowed weapons.
And then prices.
And then the economy, yeah.
So before I dive into my personal frustrations with this tech test and what I've heard from teammates and also on the Discord, I want to say that this is a tech test and we have to take that into account. So this is not a negative post, although we are going to be highlighting all of the current challenges and weaknesses that the current build of Hunger has. It is a tech test. They are refining things. This was mainly, this tech test number 3 was mainly to figure out and solve server performance and, you know, really shine the light on any glaring bugs and issues. But it's important for us as a community to voice these concerns and voice them often in a encouraging, you know, positive, empowered tone in the Discord to the developers so that they can see that these things are issues. Because if we don't, then the people who are really good at the game, who are hardcore, you know, game players, they're going to take an overwhelming voice and kind of overpower and overshadow everyone else who are more casual players. And I don't agree with, you know, some people's take on the game, such as like One Peg here in the Discord, where he says, hey, Arc Raiders, you know, has elements of like free kits and if you know, if it's too hardcore, like just go play something else. I really don't agree with that at all. It's a very lazy, in my opinion, response, and it's also really disrespectful to people's time and energy. Things like the blood bags, the repair tongs are just unnecessarily tedious and slow. And some people say, hey, well, you can just get the mastery to make it faster. And it's like, yeah, after you've played the game for fucking 40 hours straight, you need so many levels. Okay, got to get to level 10 just to unlock the ability to sink points into your mastery tree. And then you can't just go straight to blood bag speed. It'd be kind of nice if you could. You have to, first of all, put your points into reload speed and sprinting while reloading. This is one of the weaknesses here of the game. We'll just dive right into it right here. Is some masteries are way more powerful than others. There are masteries that give you significant power spikes, such as reloading speed, sprinting while reloading, meleeing while reloading, lunging, which is totally fucking broken.
My first time using it, I think I used it. She hit me, I took damage, and it got used, like, activated. And then I got tagged by the pistol. Yeah, I don't know, man. Poor guy, man. Look, I'm so much faster, she cannot even realize. She used silent steps, you see? No movement. She thinks she can run, but I'm not even sprinting, man. Behind you, Pepe, behind you. Missed. Just pistol. Here you can see level 1 versus... Nah, I mean, she has a skill where she can run while reloading, which is insane. I don't have it even. She cannot do anything, man. Poor guy.
If you don't have these things, you just lose in a fight. If I can run around a fucking house reloading my gun while you can't hit me with your melee weapon and you can't, you know, shoot me really because you're reloading your gun, I can reload, pop back around, and shoot you. The first 20 hours I recorded was actually on a different screen recording software than I usually use, and it did not actually end up saving everything. So that example, sadly, is not able to be showcased here. But trust, it happened, and I felt really bad. It's like I only won because I had a fucking ability. It's very, 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 very unbalanced. Not to mention the prices, okay, of basic gear. You can't get basic gear without paying a fortune. And the developer's solution to this is to give you a fucking wooden stake and, you know, just send you out like, good luck. It's very, very tedious. It's very unnecessarily grindy, especially if you're new to the game, especially if you don't know what you're doing, and especially if you don't have a lot of fucking time being sunk into video games because you're not a fucking streamer, or you don't have, you know, the job set up to allow you to do it, or you're just unemployed and you have a bunch of free time on your hands, or retired or something like that. Like, you're just not going to be that great. Like, it is a hardcore game. It's really fun. The PvP combat is unmatched. It's so thrilling. The progression's fun. You know, the different map locations are really awesome. The music is fucking phenomenal. Maybe the best music, especially the title menu music, that I've ever seen in a game before. But the early game is so fucking punishing. If you run out of weapons, if you burn through your initial stash, if you die too often, which you're going to do to mobs until you kind of understand how they work, to other players because you're just, you know, not that great at the game. If you lose your stash, you're pretty much fucked, and you have to go on like 3 raids, you know, using a pricker. That's their wooden stake, you know, free kit version of a loadout, and it's just really punishing. You're gonna die a lot. You're gonna not successfully extract, and even if you do, it takes about 3 raids just to afford really basic things like heals. And for comparison, for you Hunt Showdown players, in this game, 5 crude ampules, which is like the basic meds, they restore 10 HP over, I think it's 10 seconds. Might be a little bit less, maybe 5 seconds. But I think it's 10 seconds. So 10 HP over 10 seconds. 5 of those, which is half your health bar, which you're going to lose to like a Dreg, which is their basic like zombie unit person. It's kind of like a grunt from Hunt Showdown. If that hits you one time, you're at half health. So to restore half your fucking health bar, you're having to pay almost 8 silver, which is a fortune in the early game. You could get a bunch of greens, maybe a couple blues here and there, maybe a purple here and there from a raid, extract, and maybe you have like 1 or 2 silver. So you don't even have a full kit after 3 raids. 3 raids lets you afford a gun and maybe 5 crude ampules. Actually, take a look at some of those prices. So let's do the math here. 1.75 times 5. That's about just under 9 silver. So the first big issue is that if I buy these 5, that's it. Now I gotta wait 10 fucking minutes if I want to buy any more. It's inconsistent. Sometimes that's not going to be there. Sometimes these armor plates are not going to be there. This is actually super rare. Okay, let's say I want to buy the shittiest fucking gun there is, a snub. Let's add that to the list here. 4.90. So now we're at 13.5 silver. Now we gotta have ammo, right? Gotta have ammo. So 9 bullets, 9 shots. That's 1.35 silver. Excuse me, silver and copper. And let's do that 3 times. Okay, now we're at 17.85. Just to be clear, look how much money I have right now. I have a silver and 35. Let me actually switch over to my other character that has more items unlocked. Okay, so that's just for a gun. We're assuming you're taking the pricker. Meds. And ammo. Now we need a backpack. So if we want a really shitty 5-slot backpack, not even a green, just a regular old white backpack, that's another 5 silver, 20 copper. We're at 23 fucking silver now. Okay, let's go see now. We need a hit bag. Okay, gotta get as many slots as you can. You don't have that many. Hit bag. Let's just do a bucket. Not the weakest, but the second weakest, shittiest hit bag in the game, besides Moist Pouch, which is 1 slot. We're at 25.5 silver. Now let's check Pyro one more time. I just want to factor in armor plates, because if we get chest plates, you know, that we have no way to really repair. So let's do, keep in mind, this is slightly less expensive, I think, because I've leveled up his reputation to level 2 here. So let's add 5 silver plates. Let's just make it 2, right? We're going to be running white armor. White armor provides only 1 armor slot, so this allows you to repair it twice per match, which is, I mean, you're going to be taking damage pretty frequently, so that's nothing crazy. That's going to be another 7 silver and 80 copper. And let's say, now we'll leave the melee weapon out, because you can always get a pricker. But just so you know, that's another fucking 4 silver and 23 copper if you want to get a shitty dagger. If you want something a little bit better than that, daggers are kind of fine for taking out dregs and stuff. Not really great for combat or taking on other mobs. If you want something like a short sword, another 14 silver. A fucking club, 11 silver. Long sword, 22 silver. Thank God those are fairly common in the world. Now let's head over here. See if there's any chest plates for sale. Often they're not, by the way. Okay, now let's add in 4 more silver and 40 copper just for a regular ass chest plate. There's another backpack available there. I think you can save a silver and get that instead of the backpack. Basic helmet, which is going to keep you alive from Louisville shots. Because Louisville shots, which is the green gun, by the way, that's going to take you down if they hit you in the head. If you have a white chest plate, you're just dead. Okay. So, that brings the total up to 37 silver, 65 copper for a basic kit, okay? We're talking the free loadout version of a free loadout for Hunt Showdown or Arc Raiders. Something where you click a button, you have the loadout ready to go, now you can run in. Their solution to you running out of weapons and items as a new player is this right here. This is their solution to that. A fucking steak. That's it. They're like, here you go. You run out of all your stuff. There you go. So 37 silver to basically be able to play the game. And you're going to have to do anywhere between 5 to 10 raids to put together that amount of cash to afford a basic fucking kit. And I wouldn't even call that a basic kit, because 5 crude fucking ampules is half your health bar. Like, you're going to lose that so quick and so often. Even if you're great at the game, everybody misses headshot staggers from time to time. Accidentally get hit by a fucking bloat. Accidentally get hit by a dreg. Right? Fuck up the block or something. Fuck up your pathing. Not to mention fights with other players. That's just going to burn through your meds super quickly. So things like crude ampules, you need 10 of those, and that's just to reset one time from getting hit once by like a Brown Betty or a Louisville, you know, if it doesn't fucking outright kill you, considering you only have a white chest plate. Things like basic ampules, which are significantly better, they heal 25, so it's almost 2.5 crude ampules. You can't even fucking buy those, right? Except occasionally, I think, Pyro might sell 1 or 2 from time to time. It's like you don't have a consistent stock, and the stock is just, it costs a fortune. It's like, I'll use the weak vitality shot example again, paying $1,000 for a weak vitality shot in Hunt, or $1,500 for a full one or something like that. And just think about how often you use those. Like, that wouldn't be sustainable to be able to afford fucking heals. Not to mention a medkit, right? A medkit would be super OP in this game, because the crude ampules are like over time, right? There's nothing that just gives you a charge of health straight up like a medkit in Hunt Showdown, for example, does, right? To get 25 HP over the course of a 3 to 5 second channel, like, that doesn't exist here. It's ridiculous. And according to this pricing, something like that would cost you 30 fucking silver for a medkit with 3 charges. Just outrageously expensive. Just to play the fucking game. You need to just grind your ass off, not get hit, not lose fights, right? To save your initial stash, which is kind of like your bankroll to get you going. But if you lose that, you're in a really tough fucking position. And you're going to be hurting the whole time anyway, because heals are not plentiful. You're going to have to be doing a lot of raiding for fucking meds in camps, medical tents, raiding pharmacy bags, things like that, just to play the game. Okay, I want to stress this. Just all these things are just to play the game, just to afford all the shit you need to just finally be able to start playing the fucking game. Very, very frustrating. The movement speed, also another thing that's super frustrating. The mastery system. There are things that give these big power spikes where I can just outrun you, right? We talked about that earlier. I can zoom halfway across the fucking map, and you just lose if you don't have them. So I want to now talk about some proposed solutions, because I'm just been highlighting all the problems, talking about how much it sucks. Let's now address and suggest some challenges or some solutions on how we can fix this. So I want to talk about Hunt again real quick, because something brilliant that Hunt does as an extraction shooter, hardcore extraction shooter, that other titles such as Dark and Darker, Arc Raiders, The Cycle Frontier, Star Siege Dead Zone, and now Hunger lack and don't do, is that Hunt doesn't touch your base health pool, and they don't fuck with the movement speed. If you have more movement speed, if you have more health, not only is it so hard to balance, but it's incredibly fucking frustrating to deal with. So I don't think this is a great idea to touch health. Now we have armor, okay, which is essentially like your second health bar. But I just think these things should have caps. Specifically talking for the movement speed, it should be capped out. I don't think there should be, you have more than I do and you can just fucking cut me off or path me. And if we do leave that in place, now I got to talk about, okay, how do we balance that? Do we restrict people from, levels 5 and below, or like 1 to 10, right? Because once you get your tactical, your passive, your ultimate, those are power spikes in and of themselves as well. An Eva Flash, a Hugo Tactical, an auto, get all your fucking ultimate to get all your armor back. If the other person doesn't have that, these are significant advantages, right? Hugo can take a shot for free. If you're at the beginning of the game, you're only running one fucking ranged weapon and a and a melee weapon. Boom, your main damage dealer is just nullified. Nothing you could do. His ability's up for 30 fucking seconds. And you just lose, or you just have massive disadvantages. So one way around that, I think, is having a level restriction. So maybe for the first 1 to 7 levels, maybe you don't queue with other people, right? Assuming you're going solo, or other people who are freshies just like you. And if there's not enough freshies, it just sticks you in a raid with one person or no fucking people, just so you can get your bearings and just fight AI initially. Maybe that's one way to deal with it. I'm not exactly sure, right? Balancing it around, level based, maybe mastery based. Gear is another problem. If you have, a legendary chest plate, legendary purple, weapons and stuff, they just provide much bigger advantages in combat. And if we take a look at something like Hunt, there's nothing that gives you this overwhelming amount of HP. Everybody's one tap to headshots. You're just fucking dead straight out. So combat feels very rewarding because I can get these kills. I can down you fairly easily if I'm able to hit my shots. I'm rewarded for skill instead of being rewarded for just having the better shiny stuff. So I'm not saying eliminate the gear entirely. Like, we're kind of entering more of a podcast format now. But like, if you made so dungeons maybe just gave you gold, kind of like Dark and Darker, where you could like loot the gold piles and you could take the gold back to then afford better kits. And if you made the kits maybe do more damage versus AI, and slight increases to players, so if we take the Volant, which is like the semi-automatic rifle in this, it deals 24 damage per shot. The next tier up, blue, deals 35, I think. So a nice little bump. That's cool, right? In Hunt, there's guns that deal more damage. So I'm fine with having guns deal more damage, having armor provide more armor, but there needs to be counterplay, and it needs to be equal. Like the playing field needs to be equalized so that if I have it, I don't just automatically win. That's the important thing here. And I think it's hard to do that when you have overwhelming disparities in gear. So I think that's something that needs attention. It needs some mindfulness around. Hunt being a great example of not having this in the game, so it's more rewarding because you can one-tap people with headshots. The health pool is shared, so everything is typically two taps, with the weakest guns, I suppose, being 3 taps. Everything costs pretty great. It's pretty affordable. Like the higher tier weapons, yes, they're pricey, but they provide some nice advantages. But that doesn't mean you automatically fucking win, and you know how to play around it. The masteries make it so you can't really do counterplay unless you also have those masteries. So, nerfing a lot of those or making them base kit would be really nice. Making reloading while sprinting base kit, melee while sprinting base kit. Another way of kind of addressing this is giving masteries earlier at level 1. So as we're grinding up, we can start putting points into that. There's a bunch of different directions you can go, but that's something that really needs to be looked at. That these power spikes just don't feel great to play against. It also doesn't feel great to play against not only the power spikes, but then having them have better gear than you while you're just stuck with a fucking basic little, short sword and a brown Betty running around the map with cloth armor. Like, that doesn't feel good either. So this is something I think that destroys people's long-term playtime with the game. It makes them fall off, leave, except the hardcore base. Dark and Darker currently has about 4,000 concurrent players. Those are all the hardcore players. Dark and Darker, let's just look it up real quick. I'm just going to Google it just real quick. For Dark and Darker play test, I think number 4 is the one I was a part of. I was part of 3 and 4, but the 4 I think was the one that is when like Asmongold and all those other streamers are starting to play. What was the peak? I don't know if concurrent is the right word for here. Concurrent players. Maybe that's not the right word for this. Okay, 103,000 fucking players. Just an enormous spike, okay? Everybody was level 1. Everybody had base kit. It felt great to be in fights. But now, when you hop on a Dark and Dark, when I look at people's videos, like, everybody's rolling with these crazy fucking kits, all this complexity, and it's just a huge bar of entry to casual players. Whereas something like Hunt, yes, there's a lot of hardcore elements. It can be unforgiving in certain aspects, but the curve, once you kind of get down the basic stuff, it goes really, really up, because now it becomes a game of hitting your shots and less about, hey, I have better stuff than you do. Whereas Dark and Darker, you just have, or Star Seas Dead Zone, or these other gear-based games that do the balancing wrong, it's like, if you have better gear, you just straight up fucking win. You just smash other people, right? If you have a Zweihander and the other person has a short sword, like, you just fucking crush. And that doesn't exist in Hunt. If you have a bat and I have a katana or knife, like, there's a pretty equal level playing field. Right now, katana has a perk to kind of make it whip out, pretty quickly, I think, with a little bit larger range, but you get what I'm saying here. A Springfield and a Lebel can both fucking headshot you and kill you outright. So I'm not sure how they're going to do the balancing, but I know it needs to be balanced, because these are things that I've encountered that are very frustrating, and also what I hear from teammates, what I see in the Discord, that are points of contention that really, really, frustrate people, or are very, very fucking tedious, like the blood bags and repair tong things. And it's going to cause people to fall off and drive away until only the hardcore people remain. And, like, yeah, you can make money, you can sell skins to those people, but, like, why not both? Like, why are we choosing to just make it for hardcore people, when if you just change a few things that are not game breaking, like, that do not just cause the whole fucking dynamic to fall apart, and if they did, like, good, right? Like, if the core of your fucking gameplay is built around OP abilities and gear disparities, discrepancies, whatever the fuck, and level discrepancies, and like that's what you're building your gameplay loop around, basically bullying other people because you have better stuff and better abilities. Like that just sucks. Like that doesn't feel good unless you're the bully, unless you're the hardcore person with like millions of fucking hours. And it only feels good because, you know, you have small pee-pee and ego problems, right? And you thrive off of feeling superior to other people. That doesn't feel good to me. Like, I love Hunt simply for the fact that everybody, you know, stands a chance. Like, yeah, of course, if you have more hours, if you're going to be more accurate, you're going to, you know, be a better player, right? Hornet and the average fucking person with 200 hours, like, there's no comparison there. But it's not because he has better stuff. It's because he has more skill. And I think if you build your gameplay loop around more skill versus better stuff, the gameplay is more fun, and you're not so jaded and bitter when you fucking die, because you're like, oh, I know what went wrong there. Like, oh, I see where I could have improved. Like, that was one of my all-time favorite things about Hunt during my first, like, 1,000, 1,500 hours. Sometimes still, even to this day, I'll have one of those moments. But especially in the first, you know, 1,000 to 1,500 hours, it's like when I died, I was like, oh, I shouldn't peak that. Or, oh, that's what to avoid next time. You know? And that was fun. That was really cool. It's like I immediately improved by reflecting and just seeing like what I could do differently in the future to become a better player. It wasn't, oh yeah, I got annihilated because he had a fucking legendary melee weapon, right? And I don't know how you're gonna fix that, because it's cool to get these items. It's cool to find a legendary chestplate. It's cool to find a legendary fucking weapon, a purple weapon. The dopamine spike is real. It's fucking there. But I just don't think it should then make you, you know, automatically win in fights. Like the advantages have to be not crazy high, in my opinion. And if you do those things, if you make certain masteries base kit more easily accessible, less OP, right? The lunge, for example, nerfing the fuck out of it. I can't wait for that nerf. Oh my god. Cutting the distance in half, maybe even 70%, putting that fucker on a cooldown. Blocking bullets, just ridiculous. Okay, maybe once, and then maybe you take some, maybe it applies the bleeding effect because the bullets are breaking up, causing fragmented, you know, damage. You take a little bit of damage plus the bleeding effect, but you block the majority of the shot, right? So you don't take full Louisville shot, but you do take some damage. You are punished a bit, and the fucking ability goes on a pretty decent cooldown. That would be another way of addressing that. If you can level the playing field so it's more about skill, and we can make the barrier to entry to just play the fucking game, right? Just the basic ass kits easier, then people are going to be having more fun, and they're going to be making more content, and the word of mouth is going to spread, and like we're going to get more and more people to the game, and that means more, you know, fights and more money and more, you know, updates and stuff, and like everybody fucking wins, right? It's a rising tide that lifts all ships. So one way you can handle the free loadout or the pricing, you know, yes, rebalance all the prices, make things basic level to entry cheap. I don't understand why people have a big problem with this. Like why they're, you know, foaming at the mouth. I don't know if it's to curry favor with the game developers. They're afraid to be honest and you know, and tell the fucking truth. I don't know what it is. It's very weird, very strange. But, you know, if this was my game, I would go, hey, I actually want my players to have fun and be able to actually play the fucking game. So let's make the prices of basic gear affordable, so that if they do a raid and come out, now they can afford 70% or just outright be able to afford a basic kit to then be able to play the game. Or even better, right? They come back and now they can afford a couple free kits, or excuse me, basic kits. So definitely increasing the amount of value you get from selling items, massively decreasing the price of these basic items. Another way of going about it is kind of like adopting the Tarkov model, where you get a free scav you can use. So maybe it has all white equipment, comes with 15 crude ampules, but when you extract, you don't take any of that back with you to your stash. You only keep whatever items you found in the raid and brought back out with you. So in this way, you essentially have a free kit. People can loot you, but you can't stockpile those guns. You can't just sell it. You can only make money off of what you take from the raid. And you're not going to feel all the negative, crushing, tedious, soul-crushing fucking effects of not having the money and losing these really basic fucking items that just feels really, really bad. Another way of doing it is, I mean, those are probably my go-to. I would then add on top of that, I guess, having maybe once a day, once every 6 hours, getting a free, maybe all green kit, just as a nice little bump up, because you're gonna be dying a lot, you're gonna be losing a lot of stuff. Another thing I want to address is like the concern that this is OP or this is gonna unbalance the game or break the fucking economy. Nobody's really gonna pick up Brown Betty. Like, if you're doing well in this game, I've seen my friends stash, different streamer stashes. You have plenty of guns. So if you kill some people with common gear, you're not going to loot any. That gear is going to rot in the fucking mud. Nobody's getting that gear. Nobody wants to take up a sling, a stow slot, hauling your fucking Brown Betty away, unless they happen to have an open slot. Just want to have it just for the stow ability to cycle through their stowed weapons. All right, they're probably not going to touch your crude ampules. They might pick up your cloth plates. They're not going to touch your armor. Like, these things are just going to die in the raid. So I don't, unless you're another freshie, then you're probably going to adopt some of the kit, and then it's good. It's rewarding, right? It lets you have some sustain, play the game longer, participate and have more fights. So I see no good argument to keep this shit overpriced and make the initial grind for, if we're being honest, just casual players and players who are not great at the game. No disrespect, with that comment, with that statement, I don't see any fucking sense in making their experience a living hell for the first 20 to 30 levels until maybe they have now some bankroll and stuff. Like, that's so fucking frustrating. A lot of people are just not going to play. They're going to get pissed off. It's grueling, and it just doesn't need to be that way for no reason. And that only punishes new players and players who are not great at the game, which is just not a great idea. Like, if you make their experience better, the economy's not going to fucking crash in the game. Nothing's going to be fucking overpowered. They're just going to have a better time. They're going to tell more people about the game. They're going to get their friends to play the fucking game. And if they die, they're not going to be upset because it's like, hey, that's okay. I can get a free loadout, right? My free scav. Or it's going to cost me 1 silver to get my whole kit. That's not that bad. Fuck yeah. And I just made, $1.50 silver in my last raid. So it's okay if I'm dying. I'm slowly making a profit, and I can keep playing the game even if I'm not making crazy amounts of money. I'm making a little bit, right? I'm getting there. I'm working my way towards some green stuff, but I can keep playing because I have a white kit available to me nonstop. So yeah, and the last thing I'll say for the blood bags and tongs, in the stamina, I think stamina regen needs to be faster. Okay. I thought Hunt Showdown was a walking simulator. Jesus Christ. This fucking game, if you run out of stamina, you have to sit in a fucking bush or walk halfway across the map, which you're going to be doing a lot. And there's not enough like ladders and staircases and shit to navigate these cliffs. There's cliffs fucking everywhere. Super annoying. Vaulting sucks up a fifth of your fucking stamina bar. Okay, that shit should be free or cost exactly 1 goddamn stamina point. So I think those things need to change. The stamina regen has to be faster. I get there's going to be food that allows you to do this. There's mastery points, but like it's just too grueling. It sucks too fucking much. It's too bad. Another way of addressing this is maybe setting up a campfire, having that be a base kit ability everyone can do, right? Put hit number 7 on your keyboard maybe, where you sit down kind of like in Darker, you create a little campfire and restore all your stamina all the way to full, instead of having to just walk or just fucking wait, and it does it for your whole party. Something with maybe stamina shots, or just making the food cheaper for the stamina regeneration. I don't know. The stamina shouldn't be this living fucking nightmare hell. It should be more of like that's kind of nice to have, right? Like kind of like Greyhound and Hunt Showdown. If you don't have Greyhound, it kind of sucks. It's kind of annoying, but you can recover all your stamina after not walking for a little bit and do these like bursts of sprinting. And it doesn't feel as bad compared to Hunger's setup for stamina. Then if you get Greyhound, now you can just kind of sprint forever. There's also stamina shots, right? Arc Raiders has stim shots, or adrenaline shots, I think, is what they're called. So the stamina system is just like way too annoying, way too tedious, way too punishing. So those are some potential changes to fix that. It definitely needs to be addressed. Very, very frustrating. As for the blood bags and tongs, one person suggested, I forget his name, he suggested having it speed up the longer you use it. That's pretty cool. The idea I had was to have it do different stages. So you could, first of all, not needing to hold down the fucking button the whole time you're using it. That's like buff number 1. So fucking annoying. The second buff would be to make it so you can sprint with it without no mastery points. Just off the bat, you can just fucking do it. Okay? So you can sprint with it. While you're sprinting with it, it recharges at the current speed that it does now. So slow as fuck. I could live with that. If I don't have to hold the button down and I can sprint with it. That'd be kind of nice. Now, if you're walking, it then adds maybe 10-15% to that. And if you're standing still, maybe it shoots up to like 20-25%. Not counting for masteries. Masteries would make it go up a lot more. Okay, that would be my idea for a blood bag and repair tong rework. Because as it stands, it's just so frustrating to use. Very, 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 very tedious. And I think that addresses all the main concerns. Player audio obviously is a big one. You can't hear people if they're behind you, even your own fucking teammates, and other players as well until they're right on top of you, which is super frustrating. Not really fun. The lunge, we talked about that. The blocking bullets, just ridiculous. Different masteries like that. I guess the last thing would be ability discrepancies for different characters. Certain things like Eva's Flash, as we talked about earlier, just very, very overpowered. Well, Marie's heal, 50 HP over 100 seconds, is just so weak. And they need to level the playing field with all the characters. Every character should be viable both for solo play and team play and be in the same kind of threshold of power. I don't think one should be more overpowered than the others. So I like Hugo's ability to block a shot. I think maybe the cooldown should be, not the cooldown, the amount of time it lasts that it's up should be dramatically decreased. You shouldn't be able to pop it and then be invulnerable for 30 fucking seconds to one shot. Maybe it should be invulnerable for like 10 seconds. So like you could peek real quick or do like a nice little push, right? Eva's Flash lasts way too fucking long. And Hunt Showdown removed the flash bomb because it was so overpowered. So maybe her ability needs to go entirely. Maybe don't have fucking flash in the game, or make it flash in a cone, and you can only hit one fucking person. And in that cone, if there's multiple people in the cone, it just picks the one in the middle, and then they're flashed for 3 seconds. But even then, in like solo play, that would be like, okay, so if I'm flashed for 5 fucking seconds as a solo, that's brutal. So if we decrease the amount of time they're flashed, now her ability is weaker. Does that warrant as an ultimate? Does it still work? Like, where's the sweet spot where it's still good but not fucking super overpowering and frustrating to fight against, right? So I think that is something that needs to be looked at as well from a developer standpoint and a balancing standpoint. And those are my biggest concerns. If all those things get addressed, which sounds like a lot, but not really. Like, these are very, very basic things, very, very easily changed. Most of these are just a value thing, right? Increase speed on this, lower price of this, very, very easy to implement and do. If these all change, my experience would skyrocket 1,000%. And I know a bunch of new people and existing people who have expressed a lot of their frustrations. We've shared a lot of those at the beginning of this video with all those screenshots. They would also have a much better time with the game. And as I said earlier, the more the bottom line is having fun, right? As it stands, it feels a lot like Amazon. Like, that's how this fucking game feels. It's like we're all the goddamn, factory workers hauling boxes, and the people at the top are just making shit tons of fucking money. Like, we are getting shafted on the bottom line. And I think it should not be the case, right? Like, improve the bottom line's experience. If the casuals, the new people, the people who aren't great at the game, the people who have fucking jobs and families and lives, and they can't sink all this time just to grind to fucking finally be able to play the game, and not to mention get good at it, if we make their experience of dying, of just playing, the entry level to just play and just die, not frustrating, then they're going to keep playing. They're going to keep spreading the word. They're going to have a lot of fun. And this game's just going to fucking blow up. And I think it deserves to blow up because it's so fun. The combat, again, unmatched. Music's great. It's fun. It has so many elements that aren't really seen in other games, right? Like Dark and Darker doesn't have guns. Yeah, sure, they have the abilities and there's a lot of similarities there. But like, it just combines so many things in such a way that is just like the perfect storm. It's so great. So I want to see this game thrive and blow up and get all the attention and praise it deserves. But these things need to change, in my opinion. And go wishlist the game. Okay, go wishlist it. This playtest has been awesome. It just got extended for 2 days because everybody's having so much fucking fun. And I can't wait for it to release. And I'm going to keep making more content about it. And I want to thank you for watching. Drop a comment if you want, share some of my frustration. If you have your own criticisms, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Like the video on the way out to boost it, get it out to more people. Maybe have the devs see it. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.